God. Ask God.
Hey, Scott, Martin from Greensboro, North Carolina here. Stumbled across your podcast as I was listening to two others, really just trying to get as much resources as possible to get my journey started. I've dabbled just a little bit in retail arbitrage, and I've got to tell you, in the past 3 weeks, I've probably had about $500 in sales on two products, which I can't scale. So I'm all in now. So in your recommendation, what do you think now is the best start for somebody who's never really had any online selling experience whatsoever? I've did audit Jungle Scout, but kind of doing my research, maybe I'm really just overthinking everything, and I don't seem to see a product there that jumps out at me. What are your suggestions for this? Because I really don't want to get into the point where it's paralysis by analysis, and I want to stay motivated without driving my entire house crazy. So any tips and thoughts you have to this matter would be really, really helpful. Thanks.
Hey, Martin, thank you so much for the question. And North Carolina, cool, man. I'm just outside of Charlotte. I'm in South Carolina, so we're kind of like neighbors, which is kind of cool. And congratulations on the retail ARB success. It's funny, a lot of you don't know this, but I'm playing around with the retail ARB thing. I know that you guys might have heard episodes of me in the past saying like I didn't want to touch that because it was just too much work for me. But when you're first getting started, I think it's important to do exactly what you've done here and really just start dabbling, right? And start getting the momentum, and then start to see how everything kind of works and how things connect, and maybe even build up some capital so you can start to invest in a private label product. Now, the funny thing is I'm personally not doing it, but I'm helping along with my good friend Dom Sugar, my daughter Alexis, which I'll talk a little bit more about in future episodes. But she's 21 years old, going to be getting married. They're going to be moving. Her fiance's in the Navy, and she's got a hairstyle business, but when she moves, she's not really going to have that clientele. So she's trying to get something up and running so she'll have a little bit of income coming in while she's kind of traveling and moving and stuff. So she's been doing this, just started about a week and a half ago, and she is doing really, really well. So definitely think this is a great place for people to start, and I'll be reporting more as we start to move through this as well, because it's kind of new to me as far as getting into it and getting my hands dirty with it, because I'm kind of helping her along through my good friend Dom Sugar as well. So I'll be talking more about that in the future. But anyway, congratulations on that. And again, it feels good, right? It feels good when you have some level of success. I mean, it feels like, you know what? I just put in the work and it's paying off. And sometimes we need that. We call that momentum, right? And that stuff works. I'm reading The Compound Effect again. This is like my fourth time reading it. And he talks a lot about Mo. And Mo is basically momentum. And when you get that momentum, when Mo shows up, as long as you keep moving, it's hard to stop it, right? So keep that momentum going. Now, where do you start? Well, I'm going to tell you where to start. It's going to be really simple. You go to two places. You can either go to theamazingseller.com/workshop. You can sign up for one of my workshops. I'll take you through the 5 phases to pick a product, source a product, and basically do the whole launch. Everything, all the 5 phases to launch. We'll go ahead and we'll go through all of that, and I'll be on there to answer any live Q&A, but that'll give you the roadmap, really. It really will. The other resource would be to go to theamazingseller.com/start. If you go there, I'll have some resources there that will guide you through that process as well. Now, if you're just getting started, product research is like the number one thing you really have to figure out. I mean, it's kind of like retail ARB. If you find the right products, they're going to sell, no problem. So we have to find the right products, the right markets, and all of that. So starting off with Jungle Scout, I think that's great. I did an episode, episode 189, where I really drill into not just finding the product and then saying, all right, the numbers look good in Jungle Scout, but going deeper than that. It's where I look at the depth. It's where I look at the demand. I look at the history. And those are, I think a lot of times people miss those things, and that could get you hung up because you start to think, well, are the numbers right? I think I validated them, but I'm not sure. I mean, Jungle Scout says this, but I mean, are they true? Are the numbers right? So I've got some different ways that I've done it where I kind of validate through these other filters, if you will, and kind of going through some trends and, looking at the depth, the demand, history, all of that stuff. So episode 189 will give you all of that. That's where I would say start there, seeing that you've already kind of started with the product research stuff. I always tell people too, get a touch list. And I talk about this on my workshop. And some people think it's silly, but I got a lot of people that have followed this, even in my paid class, that go back to the touch list and they find products by going through the touch list. It gets them, not that they're going to land on that one product and that's going to be the product. It's going to allow them to find products and then maybe dig into that market through those products. A good friend of mine, Bill, did this. I helped him before I even had a podcast. I was helping him, and we went through about 2 or 3 different products, and then he said that his wife found a product on her touch list, and then we drilled down into that. And he's been selling anywhere between 50 and 100 units a day ever since he launched, which is pretty incredible. So again, you got to start where you got to start, and that is usually with product research. Obviously, you want to understand the whole business model. You kind of already know that, but I would say definitely check out those resources. I would love to see you at a workshop. So head over to theamazingseller.com/workshop. If anyone else is listening and wants to understand the whole business model and kind of like the entire path that you'll have to go down to launch a product, definitely go register for there or for an upcoming workshop, and I would love to see you there. And that's what I would do. So hopefully this has helped you. Anyone else that's listening, again, I think it's pretty inspiring to hear retail arb is still working, because some people say, it's dead. I say it's still thriving, and my daughter is already starting to prove that to me, so it's pretty cool. Definitely get out there and just do something. I get people that say, well, Scott, I don't have a ton of money to get started. You don't need a ton of money. Start with $200 and turn that into $400 and then turn that into $800. Like, it's flipping. It's like just flipping product until you make enough money so where you can then invest into your first product maybe, right? No excuses. This is no excuses 2017, right? This is what we're going to do here. We're just going to get it done. Do whatever you can do to get started, to get the momentum. Get Mo in your life, all right? And get him to stick by you and to keep pushing you as you're going through this process. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.